Hi YouTube, this is Big Apple here doing a review of the Ruger SR9 Compact. This will be my first handgun review I've done. I always go and look at reviews of products before I buy anything, and I feel like I need to pay back the community and do my own review. So I guess I'll do this kind of nut and fancy style. I've got my whole talking points here. The only difference is I prefer to list out each of the individual features in the talking points. That way you can get a rundown of it just by looking at it, and you don't have to sit through a long video. So anyway, this is the SR9 Compact. It's in 9mm. Your use for it is either you can have it as a car gun or a home defense or concealed carry. For me, I use it as concealed carry with a DeSantis soft tuck. This is supposed to be able to fit in your waistband, and you're supposed to be able to tuck in your shirt, although I find it to be, I don't know, it may print a little bit more if you use it for that, but it securely goes over the trigger guard and it fits fine. It's fairly slim besides this big open mouth, but then again, this review is not about that. So it fits good in the waistband. It's a little thick, being a double stack magazine, the 10 round magazine that I carry with it. Obviously these are loaded right now, so I'm not going to put it in the gun, but anyway, those are good points. It's a good gun to leave in your glove box or to use at your home. It's very, very reliable. I haven't had many issues, but we'll get to that later. The things that are included in the box, of course, you can get it in two different colors. I have them listed. I don't know what this Nitrodox means, but obviously that's their coating. I guess Ruger has that or something, but I got the stainless version, and in the box also included is your paperwork, a fired case, and then the lock, all that stuff. For the 9mm, you get two magazines. You get a 10 round and a 17 round. And for the 40, if you got the SR9c, which came out recently, you get a 9 round and a 15 round mag. And then it comes with two base plates, a flat base plate and a pinky base plate for your 10 round magazine. Which right now I have the flat one on because it's much easier for concealed carry, doesn't print, all that good stuff. It also comes with a mag loader, which, I don't know, works okay. I've gotten used to loading magazines without mag loaders, so I don't really think it's all that necessary. Weight is 23.4 ounces empty. I find it to be maybe a little bit heftier than necessary for concealed carry. I may eventually change to something else like the Kel-Tec PF9 or maybe a Ruger LCP or Kel-Tec P3AT, just because this sometimes makes me want to leave it at home because I don't have a large frame. I'm about 5'9", 150, 160, and I don't know, for me, it's a little bit of a hassle to conceal it. It's not too bad, but concealing something smaller would definitely be better. Calibers available. Obviously, this is 9mm, which encompasses all of those different names, all that stuff, and then you can also get it in 40. I got this one in March. The SR9c was not out yet. If it was, I probably would have gotten one just because I like 9mm, but I also like 9mm because it's cheap. It's very easy to buy on the market if you need to. I reload it, so it's not a big deal, but I don't know, that was the one caliber available to me at the time, so that's what I went ahead and got. Next is the ergonomics. I love the grip on this gun. It's got a very slim grip. If you use the full-size magazine, you get a full-length grip like the full-size SR9 like that. You get a very, very solid purchase on the gun, and I think that works really well. It also has this reversible back strap, which, as you can see on mine, I have flipped out to the bumped-up side to where it fits in the swell right here in my palm. It makes it a little bit easier to hold on to. You can flip that if it's too big, and it'll flatten it out and make it even smaller. But for my hands, it seems to fit me really well, so I can't complain there. And also, this is a kind of a controversial topic for a carry pistol, but this one does have a thumb safety, and that's to make it California legal. You know, for any of you guys that live there, I feel sorry for you because you're limited on a lot of things. You don't even get the 17 round magazine that came with this. But it does have a thumb safety. One thing I've noticed, it's very easy to turn it off. To turn it on, you really have to put in some effort. You got to actually go in there and really push on it to get it on. But if you do decide to carry it with the safety on, forward sweep for you 1911 owners out there, pretty simple. It does all that stuff, and you know, seems to work for me. Slide release, you know, standard thing. I guess it started out a little bit stiff when I first got it, as expected with any gun, but I haven't had problems with it since then. Some people have said that if you have an empty mag in the gun, it's almost impossible to close the slide with the slide release with an empty mag putting pressure on it, but I didn't have that problem. Mine worked just fine. The mag release is ambidextrous, and you don't even have to flip anything. You can put the mag in, you can push it from either side. It'll pop open from that side, and it'll pop open right here for right or left-handed users, so there's no need to have to flip anything around. It's completely ambidextrous without altering anything. The trigger on mine I really love. As you can see, the gun's empty, no mag. The trigger on this one I find to be very good. I've never been a big Glock fan, but I can't bash on them because they do have an amazing track record. And this trigger is also kind of based on the Glock trigger, but I feel it breaks a lot smoother than the Glock trigger. This one has a good clean break. There's no sponginess. It's about, I think I read on mine, 5.5, 6 pounds, somewhere in there. The reset on it is very, very close like that. You don't have to go far, and then you're right back for the next follow-up shot, which also brings me to recoil, which in this gun is surprisingly not bad. If you're using plus P ammo, you may have a giant fireball come out the barrel. That's expected in this because the barrel is only 3.25 inches. It's pretty small. The sights, another thing I like about this gun, rear sight is adjustable. The windage is obviously limited because, you know, you don't have a lot of moving room there, but your elevation is adjustable, and that's, you know, that's very nice on any gun. If you want to take a 12 o'clock hold instead of a 6 o'clock hold, you have the option of altering that right there, whereas with something like my Beretta 92, it's fixed on the back, and the only way to move it around is to either get a smaller sight post or drift it with some sort of tool, which I didn't find was all that necessary, but my two guns definitely do shoot differently, for sure. Another thing about this gun I like, it has an accessory rail. If any of you guys want to strap on a Streamlight or a Surefire, it's there. It also has a Crimson Trace option. If you, for some reason, wanted to put that on your gun, if it's a home defense and you want to have that available, that is out there. You can get it with a Crimson Trace. Takedown on this one is a little bit more involved than other guns. Lock your slide back, and they say to use something to push the ejector down. I just think it's easy to push it with my thumb, not a big deal. And then you have to push out this piece right here, so I usually use the front of a round or a stick or something, and you slide this piece out, and then your slide comes off. And that also leads me to the next point. It does come with a magazine safety, but Ruger's very customer oriented. They make it very easy to get the mag safety out. It used to be right here. All you have to do, if you go on YouTube, you can find people that have done it, or I think Ruger may even show on their site how to remove it. You have to take this back plate off and remove your striker assembly, and then it should just slide right out of there. It's pretty easy, so I won't give you a rundown on how to do that because it is pretty simple, and you can find it in another video. But so far it's been fine. I've tested it without the mag safety in there, and it has worked, so obviously we're good to go there. Reliability, or I guess accuracy first, didn't see that. With this one, I was actually even able to hit the bullseye many times, and I was able to shoot at a blank space on another piece of paper and actually hit the same bullet hole, which I thought was pretty amazing because I've never been able to do that with my Beretta since it shoots low. But this one, I mean, the sights are right onto the box. If you need to adjust it right out of the box, you can. But for me, it worked just fine like that. Reliability, I had to return it to Ruger once. Supposedly, their production on this gun was different than the full-size SR9, and they had shortened the striker spring for some reason. So when I first bought it, I was getting light strikes occasionally, and I had to take the striker out, clean the channel, and I put it back in there, and it was still giving me occasional light strikes. So I did send it back to them, but they did have exceptional service. They gave it back to me in a couple weeks, and I have not had one problem since then. No failures to feed, no failures to eject. I will say though, if you are a reloader, be wary of loading light loads, because since this has a double recoil spring and it is stiff and it's a short gun, It doesn't necessarily feed all that stuff reliably because it doesn't have enough punch to knock the slide all the way back. But that's not the fault of the gun at all because it has shot all boxed ammo just fine. Accessories, I will say this, the extra magazines are very difficult to find. I don't know what the holdup is right now, but I haven't been able to come across any, and they're very expensive. They're more expensive than any generic brand you could get. I've bought Pro Mags for my Beretta, haven't had any trouble with those, and those were very cheap, but these are definitely difficult to find and expensive. For my holsters right now, I've got my inside the waistband DeSantis. I've got a Focus paddle holster, which also fits, I believe, like a Smith & Wesson Sigma or something, but you can't adjust the retention, but it grabs it right here by the trigger guard. I like it. It goes around your belt. It was pretty cheap. You can find them online for a good price. And then I have another nylon case that I found at a local store that fits an extra magazine, so I kind of like that too. Although it only has a clip, it kind of wiggles. I usually just, you know, keep this in it if it's in my glove box or something. Price for this one was $419.99 locally, but I have seen it for less than $400 on Buds. Obviously, you'd have to pay a transfer fee and all that extra stuff, so maybe a little more than that. But overall, this gun is an unbelievable value. If you're a Glock person, but you find that the grips are too thick, this would be a good way to go because it's slim, and it's got a very Glock-like trigger, which you'd probably already be used to. On this, I'd probably give it about a 10 out of 10, maybe a 9 out of 10, because I did have difficulties at the beginning. But ever since then, it's been a joy to shoot. It's been very easy to shoot. It's accurate, reliable, and obviously I trust my life with it since I carry it almost on a daily basis. But this is Big Apple signing out. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this review. If you have any questions, leave me some comments.